So how can we help? There's 5 things we can do and not do that will start transforming our churches into a safe place for post-abortive people. A safe place for people to grieve and heal like they should be able to do. Come on guys, if they can't go to the people of God, if you can't go to the people of God when you're in crisis, where can you go? If they can't come to us, where can they come? There's 5 things to do and not to that will help transform our churches. 1, don't dismiss their pain.
I think the biggest thing we hear is just get over it. It's behind you, move on. Or that it was nothing. And so belittling it, and so that's probably the worst things that what I've heard.
Unhelpful approaches can include saying things like, I understand, or it's okay, or in the attempt to, and sometimes it's not even meant maliciously, sometimes it's meant to be reassuring. Like, I know that you're hurting, but it's okay, you'll be fine, all right. That can communicate a dismissing of the underlying issues of the emotional state of the person who's suffering.
2, don't condemn them.
I think that sometimes people have conflicted feelings because they feel strongly against abortion, that they have difficulty seeing that person as a fellow human being who had troubles and problems and challenges at one time in their life that may have been coerced or forced into the situation. It may not have been a choice at all. And so to be critical or condemning in any way, even in the slightest tone, because you're speaking to someone who's carrying a great deal of shame and regret, they're extremely sensitive to anything that would be critical, understandably, because of their pain and their unresolved trauma.
3, don't try to fix them, because you can't. Only Jesus can do that. I asked Marty, who is a professional therapist, if we can do more harm than good when we try to fix people.
Absolutely. It's not something that people should jump into if they don't have the knowledge, the training, the expertise. They can help them to get to some kind of a program or a therapist that knows how to help with these things. But this is where being unhealthy could harm someone who is also unhealthy and struggling and make the matter so much worse. So it's a very sensitive and important understanding that people need to have, that they don't have to be the healers. They just need to guide them to somebody that Jesus has helped prepare for them.
Building on that, obviously Marty has experience as a therapist. I only have experience, through serving in the ministry. But what became very, very obvious through experience is that this is real trauma. It's easy if you haven't been through the experience to think, oh, it's a lot of guilt and it's a lot of regret and it's a lot of shame, but it's real trauma. I mean, it's trauma on par with people who have been through war. It's such a devastating experience, both psychologically and spiritually, that you're dealing with somebody, or you're dealing with people who are in a very fragile state of mind, and so as Marty said, it is easy to do more harm than good by trying to fix. What we learn, especially in the ministry, is that we as people can't fix. Only God can fix. So helping, as Marty said, helping somebody be put in the position to allow God in to do the healing work is a good thing. Coming in and trying to do the fixing, healing work yourself for somebody else can't be done. And you do risk doing more harm than good.
4, do listen to and accept their story. When we do that, we validate their pain. Don't tell them how to feel or how not to feel. Don't tell them they shouldn't feel bad because it's all in the past now and it's under the blood, so you shouldn't feel bad. Rubbish! They have lost a child they need to grieve. Accept their story and validate their feelings.
I think the most important thing anyone can do for somebody who is suffering from post-abortion trauma is to listen. Someone who's suffering from this kind of trauma has a story that they have kept down probably for a very long time, and they just need to be heard. They need somebody to listen and somebody to hear them. They don't need somebody to try to fix them. They don't need somebody to say that they understand, or that they shouldn't feel bad, or they shouldn't feel how they're feeling. It's the most critical thing anyone can do to help somebody begin a journey of healing is simply to listen.
I think it's just really important to be loving, to seek to be Christ to them. That unconditional love of where they are at this time, trusting that His grace can help them to heal and grow and come back into a state of grace with Him. So it's the listening, it's the being caring, it's the being completely unconditionally loving them, because they're so low in their own sense of self-worth that they really don't have much. They're so fragile many times. They may have been able to put on a strong face to the world, but inside they're just very wounded and really need care.